Hi, I'm Danqi. My work questions the ethics of bringing forth new lives and draws from philosophical pessimism and procreative ethics. Today, I'll discuss my work in the context of some philosophical arguments. So, first, a little autobiographical information about myself. I was born under the one-child policy in China when there was a larger culture of some preference. My family history led me to become fascinated with reproductive matters. In China, children are expected to repay their parents for the gift of life, when no one asked for such a taxing gift. I started to think of that around 2018 and began to question the hypocrisy of natalism, which is the belief that promotes human reproduction. Shauna Schifrin, a law professor at UCLA, argues that procreation is always morally problematic due to the lack of consent. Weighing the risks and benefits of life, Schifrin claims that reproduction is only permissible with explicit consent, which is impossible. Entirely unaware of Schifrin's argument, I made a multimedia triptych for my undergraduate thesis that contemplates whether we would consent to being born if we knew what we were in for while still in utero. Rivka Weinberg, a philosophy professor at Scripps College, examines different common procreative motives to find one that is both explanatory and morally justifiable. She shows that this is not an easy task. Once again, completely unaware of Weinberg's work at the time, I asked the same question through this lithographic series. Why do we have kids? Is it because of their cuteness? Will we still have them if they look like fully formed adults straight out the gate? I appropriated Mary Cassatt's mother and child paintings by swapping the babies with adults. In so doing, I reflect on my own maternal feelings and question we would still have children at all if we can only birth fully formed adults. David Benatar, a philosophy professor at the University of Cape Town, champions pragmatic pessimism, according to which we fight for better lives for existing people, yet reject unchecked optimism that results in reproduction and passing down our human predicament. With pragmatic pessimism in mind, I screen printed children's book illustrations on newspapers. I hope to contrast the innocence of the illustrations and the gloomy conditions of our world. Benatar also talks about repetition and its relation to unbridled positive messaging. He writes, "It is as if the repetition of the good news is essential because it is so at odds with the way the world seems to be." And so I printed repetitions of positive messaging on top of our bleak year of 2020. Benatar also tackles the issues of meaning and meaninglessness. He argues that yes, our lives have meaning, but they're limited to the terrestrial perspective. On the cosmic level, we have none. In this video made of found footage, Joey sees the horror of the world and asks the same crucial question: what is the meaning of life? And here's what happens next. Benatar's axiological symmetry implies that it is better never to have been. Experientially, we give more weight to harm than benefit. Therefore, the absence of harm is good, but the absence of benefit is merely not bad. Because of that, the absence of babies in these swaddles implies the absence of suffering for me, making them comforting rather than distressing. Norwegian philosopher Peter Wessel argues that our consciousness has evolved to become so insufferable that we need to deploy strategies to contain them. He identified four different strategies, which are isolation, anchoring, distraction, and sublimation. I screen printed complaints of mundane suffering in a transparent gray on these hollow swaddles and projected cat videos on them. I wanted to imitate how we distract ourselves by projecting cute and silly things to the idea of new lives. As you can see, I only recently learned of antinatalism, namely the philosophical position that ascribes a negative value to bringing forth new lives. However, the idea is very intuitive to me even before that, and I'm very grateful to converse with these philosophers through my work. Thank you.